Yo, so I remember my guy coming out telling me Black American chattel slavery was not just for economic reasons. It was for revenge. That's why it was so barbaric. That's why they would do things like eat us, cook us, rape the men and the women and the children and all that crazy shit. And I was like, revenge for what? He was like, well, we ruled Spain. I had to go do my own research. And I was like, okay, the Moors ruled Spain for 800 years, from 711 to 1492. Now, when did Christopher Columbus sail the ocean blue? When did he discover the Americas? Christopher Columbus grew up in a black ruling society. All of the math and the sciences and the religion and the cooking and the food and the knowledge of bathing and more things that the Moors brought to Spain. So this really was revenge. This was really them saying, y'all had your turn. We get it. Now watch what we do. And why don't we ever learn that in school? Yo, so I remember my guy coming out telling me Black American chattel slavery was not just for economic reasons.
Shalom. I'd like to say all praise is due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honors, possible, great millstone, peace and blessings to the elect. My name's Conwalk from GMS Toronto, doing this lesson, and it's going to be regards to slavery was a revenge. All right, and that's what they did. When the Israelites fell, right, when the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, Levi fell, and then first to start with, really start with the northern kingdom, right, because the northern kingdom already, the 10 tribes already been here in the Americas, right, and basically during like 1619 or so, that was when even before, like, Virginia, the colony of Virginia, like, they were killing a lot of the Gadites that were on the land, right? The Ishikarites as well, the so-called Mexicans, right? And New Reubenites, right? And then eventually Judah, a lot of the Judah, Benjamin, Levi, they came over to the Americas as well. But when Esau eventually rose up to power, right, Esau was doing a lot of things. He was doing a thing called butt breaking. A very good video. If you have the DVD, I don't have it, but I remember watching some of the videos that Tariq Nasheed, right? He goes into it, he has a lot of different documentaries, and one of the documentaries that he made was called butt breaking, right? And it was a term that was called butt breaking, was to break the so-called black man, right, and by the slave master, right, and they were doing all kinds of things in America and also in the Caribbean as well, where a lot of these Edomites were sleeping, or not sleep. Esau was wicked, man. He was doing all kinds of wickedness, right, and sleeping with men, against their will, right, and publicly humiliating everybody in front of, like, he was publicly humiliating everybody, on these plantations, right? So, like, that's why the Lord says that we're gonna meditate terrors. It says that heart is gonna meditate terrors, man. Right? Like that's when the kingdom's gonna be established, because we're gonna have to execute judgment upon these Edomites, man, upon you heathen, right? But mainly you damn Edomites, because you guys are so wicked, man. All right, and we're not gonna be doing no butt breaking and none of that shit, right? We're gonna we're gonna do all kinds of different things, but we're not gonna do no freaky, or no perverse shit like how you did to us, right? So and it was a revenge, for these Edomites, because they knew that we were rulers, that we were in rulership for over 1,000 years, right? And let's get Revelation 20. Revelation 20. So Revelation 20 and 3, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him that he should deceive the nation no more till 1,000 years should be fulfilled. Right? Because the Israelites were in rulership for 1,000 years during the Dark Ages, right? Starting from from Constantine the Great. He established that whole Christianity, right? And basically from the 1300s, and then eventually it's called the Black Plague, where a lot of the Israelites they fell, right? And through the different pestilence, because these Edomites eventually had to had to come up and rise to power, and that's what happened. So 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that he shall be loose a little season. So basically, starting from the whole Renaissance or 1492, Pope Alexander VI of Rome, the Borgia family that was under the whole Roman Catholic Church. They set up Pope Alexander VI of Rome as Pope, right? And eventually the Moors were driven out of Spain, right? And eventually the whole transatlantic slave trade and all these different stuff happened, man. And after that, he should be loose a little season, right? When Esau, the conquistadors, came to the Americas, and he came with this whole Caesar Borgia, right? Because that image what they have of Jesus, that's really an image as Caesar Borgia or Serapis Crispus, right? So really, this is a little season that these Edomites are in, right? And let me get Obadiah. Is it Obadiah? It's like, yeah. Obadiah. This is one of the shortest. This is one of one of the shortest chapters in the book. Let's start at Start at 1. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord, power concerning Edom, right? So this was the vision that Obadiah had, and he wrote it down, right? Prophet Obadiah. Concerning Edom, we have heard a rumor from the Lord. An ambassador is sent among you, among the heathen. Arise ye, let us rise up against her in battle, right? And and we are the ambassadors, right? And basically, we are telling you that your kingdom is gonna fall down, right? Your empire is gonna fall down, right? And then Jacob is gonna be there. That's why it says second Ezra 6:9 says that for Esau is the end of the world, Jacob is beginning of it that follows. So we're seeing the end of Esau's age, the end of his empire, and the renewing of the kingdom of Jacob. Behold, I made thee small among the heathen, and thou art greatly despised. Right now, Esau is he's greatly despised, man. These nations, they're looking down on these damn Edomites. They're looking down on America. All right, a lot of dirt's coming out. This whole Epstein list, the whole the Roman Catholic Church, how they're nothing but damn PDF files, right? Right, and they're greedy people, man. The pride of thy heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwelt in the cliffs of the rocks, right? And basically, the cliffs of the rock is referring to a land in the land of Edom known as Petra, where the Edomites was actually dwelling, right? It was a cave. It was like in the caves in the wilderness, right? And that's why now we know that Esau is the same people, because look how he builds his whole infrastructure. He builds all these high rises everywhere. These apartments. Really in the scriptures in the Bible, you're really supposed to build up to like 3 levels. You're not supposed to build um on like you're not supposed to be build like a building so high, right? Because if you're up on like a rooftop and then you drop, you're gonna die. All right, so you're really supposed to build up to 3 levels. It says, "The pride of thy heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground?" That's what Esau's saying, right? Esau feels like he's on high. He feels like no one's gonna bring him down, right? And and they wanna go after Iran, and they because they wanna basically to capitalize off the oil and the resources, right? And they want to have a strong empire, like these Edomite empire with these damn Israelis, these Edomites, these damn Americans, and all these stuff that they're trying to have a strong domain, man. On people, right? So right now the nations are looking down on these heathens, and that's what this whole war is gonna get more intense with Iran, America, Israel. Thou, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars. So the eagle is referring to um that the Roman Catholic. Sorry, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle. So the eagle is referring to the Rome, not the Roman, yeah, the Roman, that the Edomite Empire, the Roman Empire. All right, that because the eagle, it was the symbol of the Roman Empire, right? And now eagle is the highest bird in the sky, right? So though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, right? Like, because that's why like when they had the whole so-called fake moon landing, right? And they said the eagle is landing, right? So so they're very proud, they're very arrogant. Though thou exalt thyself as an eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars. So through his whole his space stations, his satellites, right? Though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, said the Lord. If thieves come to thee by night, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Thou would thou not have stolen until they had enough? If the grape gatherers come to thee, yeah. So Esau, because in our law, right? Like, you're supposed to leave even like, you're supposed to, like, if you have like a vineyard, or we have yeah, fruits and stuff, like, you're supposed to leave some, like, for the poor, right? But Esau, he takes everything. Esau doesn't give a damn. Esau wants to take he takes everything, man. He doesn't care about that the poor are nothing, right? So Esau nothing but a greedy bastard, man. If grape gatherers come to thee, would they not have? If grape gatherers come to thee, would they not leave some grapes? How are the things that Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought out? That's what they did. They did all kinds of experiments on our people, right? Masking our people through the damn residential schools here in Canada. In America, I believe they call it like boarding schools, where the Gadites were, right? They were doing experiments on our people through on these plantations, right? And he's doing the same thing, right? Esau's doing a lot of experiments on our people, right? The man's a wicked man. So let me go at verse 10. So for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. And that's going to happen, right? Basically, what they did right, where the Babylonian Empire, where they rose up to power, basically, and they sacked the temple of in Jerusalem, right? That was set up, the Roman, sorry, the the Babylonians, they came to power, and basically the Edomites helped assist them. Let me get first Esdras 4 verse I started at 4d5. Then said he unto the king, right? So this is King Nebuchadnezzar, remember thy vow, which thou hast vowed to build Jerusalem. Sorry, that this wasn't. Then said unto the king, remember thy vow, which thou hast vowed to build Jerusalem in the day when thou comest to thy kingdom. So sorry, this would be referring to Cyrus, I believe. King Cyrus, and then and then you had like another guy that was when Cyrus died. There's another a guy that rose up to power. It says then said he unto the king, remember thy vow, which thou hast vowed to build Jerusalem in the day when thou comest to thy kingdom, and to send away all the vessels that were taken away out of the Jerusalem which Cyrus set apart when he vowed to destroy Babylon, and send them again hither. Right. So basically, like, that's what they did. The Babylonians came, right, and they sacked the temple, right, and they took a lot of our wealth, our substance, right. Thou hast vowed to build up the temple which the Edomites burned when Judea was made desolate by the Chaldeans, so the Babylonians, right? And the Edomites helped assist, right? So the Edomites went always against us, right? And the Edomites broke the Edomites broke the brotherly covenant, you know. That's what they did, you know. So in the day that thou stood against the other side, in the day when the strangers cometh away, carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was one of them. And that's what they did. They led us into captivity, right, under the damn Babylonians, and the Edomites came and they took the spoils, right, and they pointed us out, right, and the Edomites were our enemy, man, right. So that this whole chapter is is um is going to be the whole Edomite, like their beginning and their ending, right, and we're seeing that we're at the end of their empire, right, and we get this verse 8, and thou, the house of Jacob shall be for fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, right. So Jacob, right, so Judah, Benjamin, Levi, and Joseph a flame, right, because now we're like now that when Yahweh set up the kingdom, the 104,000, right, so called the kingdom of Judah and the kingdom of Israel is going to be united, right. We're going to rule for 1,000 years, and the Edomites are going to be destroyed, right. They're going to be destroyed after the 1,000 years, and you other nation are going to go back into your lands, right, and we're still going to monitor, and you're still going to have to pay tribute to the Israelites, but you're going to get back your lands. And they shall kindle in them and devour them, and they shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord have spoken it. So that's what's going to happen, because they're not going to have no use, right? Because this whole 1,000-year captivity of the Edomites, right, it's going to be your punishment as to what you did to the Israelites and what you did to the earth. Right, so after 1,000 years, the Most High, right, is not gonna have no need of you damn Edomites, right? Because you guys corrupt, like you guys corrupt the earth, you know. Let's get Revelation 13 and start at 9. If any might have an ear, let him hear. He that leaves into captivity shall go into captivity. So like how how the Israelites were led into captivity in Judah, Benjamin, Levi, how the northern kingdom like was destroyed, right? You Gadites, you Ishkarites, you know, all the tribe were all the tribe were basically affected when Esau came to power, man. His Gatling gun, his disease warfare. He that leaves the captivity shall go into captivity. So that's going to happen. You're going to go into captivity, right? There's going to be no like you're not going to be able to hide. There's not going to be nothing that you could do. This is your future. He that killed the sword must be killed with the sword. Here the patient and the faith of the saint. That's going to happen. Trading places, right? And we're going to like how you killed us and you massacred our people. The same thing gonna happen with when like when we get the kingdom, man. I think Isaiah 14 and 21. You know, because this is gonna be like the destruction of Babylon, and it says Isaiah 14 and 21, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not ride nor possess a land, nor fill the face of the wolf with the city. So this is gonna be after the destruction, right? A lot of after the 1,000 years, and you damn Edomites are gonna fall, right? And there's not gonna be no need of you damn Edomites, right? For I will raise up against them, said the Lord of hosts, and cut off from Babylon, so America, the name remnant, son and nephew, said the Lord, right? So yeah, but that was basically in the future that we're in now, right? America's gonna be totally on fire, but the Lord's actually going to in Obadiah verse 18, they're going to be on fire, man. All right, we're going after 1,000 years. You damn Edomites won't have no use in our kingdom, like, which is good, So yeah, so that's pretty much it. So with that, like to say our pretty duty, how Bashim, Shai Bashim, Kwadash, double honors to pass a great milestone, peace and blessing to the elect. Shalom.